Hi guys, how you doing? This is day two of my 20-day recovery journey, and I'm just hopping in for a little update for today. So today, pretty low on the energy levels. The tank is empty, and there's not much going on with the brain either. It's pretty signed out too. But I did have a very interesting part of the day as well. And I did promise at the start of these videos and at this series that it was all going to be pretty raw and pretty real. And so I'm going to keep to my word with that. So today I took one of my sons for an ADHD assessment because it looked like he had some of those symptoms going on, or quite a lot of them actually. And what transpired was a little bit more than what I had expected. In the sense that when the doctor was going over a lot of the symptoms, it became more and more clear that a lot of the symptoms that he was experiencing were things that I had experienced myself through much of my life. Now, I'd already been thinking about this, and it wasn't completely new to me. And these thoughts had been beginning to develop, but I suppose it really solidified a little bit for me why I possibly might have been struggling with a lot of these kinds of issues. And so if you're like that as well, that you've got things going on in your life that you really can't explain, it really is quite difficult, because you don't really understand why you are challenged in those certain aspects of your cognitive functionality. And the problem with these kinds of things is that when we see ourselves or perceive ourselves as being different from other people, what happens is that we automatically come to the belief that there's something missing with ourselves. If we find things more difficult than the peers around us, or if we notice ourselves as being different in any way, either we will come to the conclusion that there's something lesser about ourselves, or other people will come to the conclusion that there's something lesser about us, something deficient. And sometimes that's where bullying comes in, and we can end up actually bullying ourselves because we don't like what we see. We don't like the person that we believe we are. And this has actually been quite a lot of my story early on. I think there was a lot of self-rejection and a lot of feeling that there was something missing with my ability level and my capacity cognitively in different areas. And so that when this happens, we look at other people, we look at their strengths, and we look at what we perceive as our weaknesses, and we see the gap. And then we form these negative beliefs about ourselves, and from that comes so much of our problems with confidence and self-esteem. And then that has knock-on effects in every area of our lives then. So it's been a little bit of more of an eye-opener for me today than it had been up to this point. And I've got more work to do researching this and trying to understand exactly where I go from here personally. And so if you're like that and you are either struggling with something along those lines, or you see yourself as being different from those around you, or you have throughout most of your life, depending what age you are, what I want to ask you to consider is this: that first of all, the differences that are in our lives are not something to be ashamed of, because we are meant to be that way. This world is meant to be painted with colour. I believe that God created us the way we are. Not that we are always born that way because we're designed that way, but we all have differences in our lives that make us unique. Those uniquenesses are usually strengths when we really understand them better. And what the doctor today explained was that many people with ADHD, for example, are very, very good at what they are interested in. And so those who are the fastest people in the world, like Usain Bolt, or sometimes the best chefs in the world, or the best engineers, they've got ADHD, and quite often they've got autism or something along those lines, because they're very focused and very interested in those things that they are good at. And so quite often we don't really understand that the uniqueness we have is a beautiful thing. It's a strength, because when we are different, those differences are for our benefit and for the benefit of the world. We're supposed to be different. We're all supposed to be different from each other. We're not supposed to be the same. If we were all the same, then the world certainly would be a very boring place. And so it's really a road of discovery, of learning more about ourselves and understanding why we are different, and beginning to look at these things. Here's a little tip of something I've learned myself, and how we can see ourselves in a better light and perceive our strengths. And that is to imagine we're coming outside of ourselves, or imagine that we are viewing someone that's very, very much like us. Just take ourselves out of ourselves and imagine that we are viewing somebody from a distance. And that person has all those attributes that we've got. And then if we ask ourselves the question, because this person is like this with these differences or these uniquenesses, if that's such a word, do we believe that this person should be thought of as less worthy of being loved, or less worthy of esteem or respect? When we ask ourselves that question about someone else that we're viewing in our mind's eye that is very much like us, then we'll get the answer of what way we should really view ourselves and what way other people should view us. And I think you'll find that the answer is no, that person doesn't deserve lack of respect, or they don't deserve to feel that they're less worthy than other people of acceptance. And so we can gain a better perspective of how we should view ourselves. I hope that's been helpful for you today. It's certainly been an eye-opener for me, and it's a lot for me to chew on and to think about today. And I hope it's been a blessing to you. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 3.